Okay. What's up, everybody? I'm here with Assad. He's figuring his setup out, but we're going to be doing a Q&A. So we're going to be looking at the chat of the live stream and answering any questions. And that is the whole format of this stream. I'm sure there will be questions about dropshipping and that kind of thing. I'd imagine that's what this will be, especially because that's like what Assad's specialty is. So for those of you guys who are watching the video later, Assad is somebody who recently participated in one of the weekly calls. So now we're doing a live stream because he wanted to do one. So that's why we're here. We can see you. Yeah. Sounds like you can hear us, or it looks like you can hear us, or hear me. 1 second, I'm going to the live stream on my phone. Woo! Okay, cool. Awesome. So Khadija and Vismantes says hello. We still can't hear you. We can see that you're talking. We still can't hear you at all. Assad. He'll be back soon. It's funny because I finally got lighting to make to light the wall up in front of my recording, but I was gonna start doing it before this, but then I would be late, so I decided to just go with my typical badly lit setup. Although at the moment it works pretty well. There's a mirror in front of me, so whoa, there's two Assads. Yo, can one of them talk? That'd be awesome.
One of them can.
Hey, a voice! I am so confused right now.
1 second.
What?
Cool. Now you will have one Assad only.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, it's good to hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sure.
That was super cool. There were two of you moving at different times. I guess because of the lag. That's awesome. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. I got in trouble on Skillshare again. So now I feel super frustrated. I had to I was sitting in front of my computer and I was like, "Oh man, I feel like I wasted time. Feel frustrated." So I left and I went to the store and went on a walk and got out of the house for like an hour. So I feel better now, but it's a bit irritating because I got in trouble for something on Skillshare, but there's like a glitch with Skillshare's system. So they're supposed to send you out an email that says what happened, but right now that email doesn't happen. So your course just kind of disappears and you don't know why and you don't know what happened. You don't know like what went wrong. And then you have to contact Skillshare in order to get that information, which is frustrating because then they're like, "We sent you this email at this date at this time." And then you're like, "But it didn't show up." So.
Oh, I see. Well, sometimes those systems you just go crazy and then you just need to deal with it, like.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to figure out what is happening. So
it'll be okay.
It's actually crazy. Yeah, it will. Definitely. We've got some people around here.
Yeah, we've got like 16 people watching right now. That's double what the last call was. So let's see. I
And
can
I,
say there is. I'm gonna try and pronounce everybody's names, and I'm gonna mess it up, but that's okay. There's Khadija,
you find
Vismantes, an Arabic name. I can't read Arabic. I'm sorry, but you can, right?
yes, I do. I can read it.
What's the Arabic person's name?
Well, that's not his name actually.
Or username, you know.
It's written learn money from learn money.
Learn money. Okay, cool. Learn
Two
money.
part word. Learn. And then I think he was referring that the sound was not good.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's or not.
And also Ilias Arts. I think that means like Ili usually stands for I love you. I don't know what the rest is. Usernames are so confusing sometimes. Khadija Nader. And I think that's and okay, I got this one. Abdul Maim at Aitzad. Oh man, I can't do the last name. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. We are here to talk about anything you guys want. So anything that comes up, we will discuss.
I've got a team working with me together, and then they're trying to set up, like set up the cameras, set up everything. So, like. So actually, welcome to Cool. So we welcome everybody to the live chat. And I don't know, you want to start or I start? So whatever, start first. So you guys.
Well, most of the people who are watching like my YouTube channel know who I am, so it'd probably be good for you to talk a bit about yourself and just kind of explain what you're doing.
Yeah, cool. Well, my name is Assad, because I think most of people here, Ilyas, Khadija, and Abdul Munaim, and all those guys, they know who I am. So my name is Assad. I'm from Morocco, from city Marrakesh, which is in the south. And then I've been doing dropshipping for quite a long time, since 2017. And I stopped for a while. Reason that I had other plans to go ahead, and other plans that I had to stop doing dropshipping, and anything has to do with e-commerce, and then I had to do something else. So I was back in last 2 months, and then I was doing some lives all over Facebook, and then I found out that a lot of people got a lot of content. They were so happy with the lives that I used to do. And then I had the guys that they support me actually, and then we worked together as a team. And then he said, let's go back and do lives and do videos and share more information and be active on social media, including in YouTube. And then I had you in the plan since a long time ago to talk to you, Jack, because we had lots of time we had to talk, and it was amazing. And unfortunately, the internet was really bad.
Hey,
so
it's all practice, man. We're getting better and better every day.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
So tell me more about the other things that you tried before you got back into drop shipping or making content. What other things were you working on?
Well, what I did actually, because I'm holding my phone and looking at if we've got some comments, I'll keep it right on the right side. So what I did on that time, I had a friend of a family that, because I used to do management, so I was in a retail management, and a friend of the family asked me if I can take care of his business. It was it's like a hotel. It's a villa hotel. We call it Maison d'Hôte. I don't know if you're familiar with the name, but it was kind of like let's see, 1,000 meters square, more than 1,000 meters square, like approximately like 2,000 meters square, and it's like a huge villa, and then people come and rent the entire villa of 4 rooms for a minimum of 3 or 4 days. It's a 5-star, and it's beautiful. It has a swimming pool and a golf tennis courts, so it has everything. And then I've been asked to manage it. So I said no, and then he was like, oh, please, it is nobody who can do it. And I said, okay, it's fine. Okay, let's do it. So I went and I managed for like 6, 8 months. And then we had to work on a lot of things. And then it's beautiful. It's an amazing place. The whole entire team that are nice, amazing. The owner is amazing. I mean, it was an extraordinary experience for me, and I learned a lot. And then later on, I just decided that I told them, listen, everything is set up, everything is cool. You guys, you're ready to go, everything is cool. You know, you guys, you don't need me anymore. You can just find somebody else. And they asked me to stay, but I said no, because I have a goal, so I want to achieve it. So I decided to come back to what I was doing. I went to Amazon as well. I did some FBA as well for some times, and then I stopped FBA. Then I went back to dropshipping now, and then I'm trying to learn a lot. I'm trying to, with my team, I've got a team of 3 people. We're working on something new coming up. We're working on it, so it's coming soon. We will share it with it.
It's so awesome to hear that you're working with a team of people, because that's absolutely like, no matter what you're doing, when you start working and coordinating with other individuals who have similar desires or goals to you, that's when like truly awesome stuff can start to actually happen. That's really refreshing to hear.
Yeah, definitely, because you cannot hold the glass from 4 fingers, ever, never. You cannot hold the glass with 4 fingers. You need this one, the tongue. So you would have to have 5 fingers in order to get a gap. So it's a teamwork. So if people work together, and then like 3 brains, 4 brains, 5 brains, it's not the same as one. So each one comes with an idea, and it's amazing. Like earlier we had a meeting with my partner, and then we were talking business, and then imagine that everybody comes up with an idea, and then we get it together and say, amazing. So that's the power of team.
That energy.
So, yeah.
That's why I've been trying to find situations in life where I live with people who have energy that goes well with my own energy. When you're living around people like this, it's so much different than if you like know them and you just hang out sometimes, or you know them in like a foreign country and you can just go through video, right? And it's just amazing to be around that kind of energy on a regular basis of like people working together and having, it's amazing. Someone asked a question. Let's see. Elias said, what do you think about a website called Sell Me Gift Card that you can buy Amazon Prime products via PayPal? I actually I just heard about this website for the first time recently. And Nicole, someone showed it to me.
Okay. Well, to answer to this question, I've got my own supplier that I worked with actually, and I deal with him, and I don't have issues. So I used to try tons of websites like GiftFlip, like gift card supplies, and all of that, but I was not comfortable using them at all, to be honest with you. And like for instance, GiftFlip, and you've got a lot of scammers. They might take your money, or they might delay your gift card. Gift card supply, I used to use it, but the price is higher. So thanks God, I found a supplier that I work with. He's based in the US, and then I got a nice deal with him. And yeah, I use my own supplier, to be honest with you. I don't use websites.
So for the people listening, a lot of people would want to find their own supplier of gift cards, especially international people. Can you give them any advice on how they might do that?
Okay, so I might support in this area. I mean, if they want to find the suppliers, they're all over the internet. They might find them, but they're risky. They're not. I don't use them. Like my experience, it's bad experience. But from my side, if anybody needs support and need help on that, what I can do is he might contact me, and then I can speak to the supplier, because the supplier is really like, he just doesn't want to have a lot of people coming up and stuff. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like, so I said, if anybody needs anything, you might contact me, and I can contact the supplier and support them and provide them with the gift cards. Smooth, nice deal. I get a nice deal.
Have you ever used Card Bazaar or cryptocurrency to purchase gift cards?
Well, my partner, he does that. I don't do that. I don't. I'm not expert on that. that's why I said earlier, it's good to have a team that each one has something. So my partner, he does that. He knows how to do it. I don't know how to do it, to be honest with you. What else?
Yeah, there were times when I was drop shipping that I had problems using gift cards. And it was always kind of a hard decision whether you wanted to pursue the profit, but also more of the risk associated with gift card use. For example, like I used Walmart mostly as a source, and Walmart treats orders fulfilled with gift card differently than orders fulfilled with credit cards. For example, they're more likely to cancel them if the product has been ordered by a lot of other people. And also their return policy changes if the gift card was used to fund the order versus a credit card. And what I found is that almost all of the problems that I had with Walmart due to order cancellations were because gift cards that I had purchased had been flagged for fraud for some reason, right? And then, so Walmart would cancel all the orders associated with all of those gift cards. And this was something that I was always able to get resolved by just replacing the gift cards orders with like orders in my name and everything. But that was a pretty common problem when I was using gift cards, at least with Walmart.
I know I've seen you working with the Walmart, and I used it actually. I used to source from Walmart. It was amazing, but the only problem that I mean, there are two things that I get back from Walmart. I don't use Walmart anymore. It's just because there are two problems and two issues that I found. Because I'm not American, I don't have a billing address in the US, and I'm not based in the US, and my PayPal is not in the US. So they were not allowing me to purchase, to make an orders.
Yeah.
So they had to stop doing that. And then and another thing, they were canceling orders. Like imagine you have 2 days, 2 days handling, and then you want to give a track number to the customer, and then they cancel your order like the last minute. And or sometimes they don't even tell you. You know, you just go and search and call them, contact them, they'll tell you your order was canceled. What's the reason? No, we don't know. You know, so it was very bad experience. Even though I learned like there was a very nice margin actually, but I don't do it at all. I don't use it anymore, so I skipped from it.
Yeah, I only used Walmart because of the way that I was bulk posting. It was the less risky option because of the way that they charge for shipping and the way that they handle returns. I didn't it's all free returns basically. So this was quite useful when I was trying to learn and everything, right? So Hamza and Badr, I don't know how to say hello.
Okay, so are you taking the chat from the top? So Assad is amazing. I love you, man. I love you too. Assad, no voice. Well, I think the voice is working properly. It's Moroccan. He was talking about sounds. He said hello everybody. Assad, we cannot hear you. I think you guys can hear me. Are you looking at Assad? No voice. No way. Jack, how are you, man? Everybody's asking about you. Right, Assad.
So I have a question for you about sources, and Hamza asked, Jack, do you still dropship on eBay, and did eBay ask you for the agreement that prove you have all the rights to the items on your store? I stopped dropshipping like 8 months ago. I got in trouble for like the scale of my store and for counterfeiting claims, so I wasn't banned because of dropshipping activity, even though all of this like recent stuff is eBay is targeting dropshippers. I got in trouble before that for something like unrelated. But I am connected with people who are dropshipping on eBay, and also I meet every week with a group of physical sellers on eBay. So they've shared their experiences with me, and I understand that eBay does, there is a way to prove to eBay that you are drop shipping within terms of use. But this process is tricky, and a lot of eBay reps don't really know about this. But it means having a documentation showing all of your items. So basically, the way that eBay wants people to drop ship is that they're thinking of people in the US, first off, as sellers mostly. That's how eBay usually functions. Right now we're talking about the US marketplace on eBay, right? There's a whole bunch of different ones as well, but this just applies to eBay US. Traditionally, eBay expects sellers to start off with like wholesale kind of selling, where they purchase wholesale amounts and then sell them on their eBay stores at retail prices, right? So when you're in this situation where you've been working with a wholesaler, one of the things that can happen is that the wholesaler decides to set up a drop shipping arrangement with you. And as part of this arrangement, you sign a document saying that it's the wholesaler basically being like, hey, you can send addresses of your customers to us and we will fulfill the orders of these products. It is just like a documented form showing that the drop shipping's legitimate, right? So when eBay flags you, what they're flagging you for isn't drop shipping. It's drop shipping from sources like Walmart or Amazon. This is the thing in specific that eBay is trying to eliminate or get rid of. So if you are drop shipping with a supplier who is not one of these competitors in eBay's eyes, and you can show an agreement, then you can remove the flag, but it takes 1 to 2 months for this process to happen. And I've talked to 2 physical sellers who have been able to do this, but only because they weren't drop shipping and eBay flagged them as drop shippers. So they were like, what the fuck? Why did this happen? We're just like, they literally do thrifting and resell things physically, right? But so that was just in response to Hamza's question.
Yeah, well, for this particular reason, honestly, after I've got 4 stores actually, 4 stores in eBay, and I'm using only 2. The other ones I'm really not using them. So I have done a deep search about flagging accounts, because look at it. I look at it in this way: eBay, no one can unflag you, because the system, the algorithm that they are using in their Kazini system, they unflag you because you have done certain things. So contacting them, because I've made a call, and one of the girls, I've seen her making a call to one of the preps, eBay, and then they told her, we cannot, there is no way that we can get an agreement from you, like sent by email, and then we will go and unflag you, because it doesn't work that way. So it's everything is on the system, it's an algorithm. So if they realize that you are drop shipping, you will flag you automatically. So when you will get unflagged is just by time, because you know every month you will get a review, your store review, and then you will find if you can go to be a top rated or above standard or below standard or whatever. But that's the thing, because I made 2 videos, one in English. I didn't upload it yet. I uploaded, but I put it private. I don't want to share it now. And then I made one in Moroccan, and I explained to people what is happening with flag. So what I found is very interesting. The first one is it's on my experience, because I've tried it. So what happened when you open, for instance, Amazon, and then you copy the bullet points next to the photo, copy it and paste it to your
listing.
Description.
Yeah, and inject metadata that shows it's from Amazon.
It's still there. How do you find it out? When you paste those information, you click HTML, and then you click Command F, or the search in the HTML. You will find the metadata there. Find Amazon, you find whatever. So those things, the algorithm catch it up. So imagine you listing the product and there is Amazon in your description, you don't know it. So the algorithm find that Amazon and then they will flag you. Photos as well. Photos, when you take a photo from the source, any website, and then you download it to your computer, then you take it from your computer to your laptop. The metadata is still there, but you have to do is print screen the photo or use the Photoshop in order to save it and use it in your photo for your product, for your listing. I found the API as well. API, what happened? There is nothing against using the APIs. However, using the APIs, software, for instance, I use this tool, AutoDS, Shopmaster. Shopmaster, I don't use it anymore. AutoDS and DSM tool, trust me, the metadata is still there in your listing. So if you're using the API, what you're supposed to do is you need to, for instance, if I list 20 products a day, so I list them automatically. So I have to go to eBay, open each one of them, check the HTML, if there is any metadata, and remove them. So you have to, again, to go and review your every listing because there is a metadata in your listing. That's from the APIs. So that two things, that's number two. It's an API. The number three is item location. Everybody's talking about item location. So they use in Chicago, and then Amazon decides to source it from Ohio, and then there's counterfeit. Like it's not the same, you know. Like the item location is not the same. So people come with the Blue Kit Express or talk about you use one. That's the advice I give to people. Just use one location. If you're sourcing from USA, just choose one location, one state, and done, finish. And then use tracker bots or Blue Kit Express because they don't show you an item where it's shipped from. They just show you item is shipped. So now you're secure because eBay won't figure out that you shipped from other states. That's number two, item location. The number four, which is very important because a lot of people, they don't give a damn about their store, being honest. Sorry for the word. They just don't give a damn about the store. They send product damage, they upload tracking numbers late, they don't reply to their emails. If the refund came, they just don't care about it. And that it will reflect to their performance in their store. So the store's performance goes down. So you can keep your store at 100%, by providing the best customer service, treat the store as your baby, and treat your customers as you want to be treated. So there's the four main reasons that I found that those are the ones that create people, make people be flat on their accounts. So there is no other ones. I've made tons of research. So I found those are the main reasons that the people got flat.
That makes a lot of sense. And that's what's kind of funny about eBay is because eBay makes changes to its policy, but ultimately, if you can have like really high feedback rates, you're responding to your customers quickly, you aren't having many problems, then typically you're gonna be okay. Not always, but like for example, there are people that eBay knows they're drop shipping, but they do it on such a high volume and very professionally that they don't stop them. They don't care really. Whereas when new people get into it, you do have to be a bit more careful, right? In that sense, eBay's laws don't necessarily apply equally to everybody, which is a little bit frustrating sometimes, but
yeah, exactly. And what happened, look at this, eBay, they are trying to be Amazon. They are trying to compete with Amazon. But they will never be able to compete with Amazon ever because Amazon is way ahead of them, like way ahead. So they're trying to take terms and conditions and apply to their terms and conditions, and it won't work. And for instance, Amazon, everybody knows the rules. Like those are the rules, deal with it. Everybody knows it. If Amazon come up with a new rule, or everybody knows about it, you know, like it's bingo, here it is. But eBay, they don't. Imagine, I think you remember the April, that big deal that happened in 2018, April changes, and everybody was freaking out.
Yeah.
Everybody got crazy. Nobody knows what is happening. So that's the problem. And I spoke to one of the preps last time, the customer service from eBay, and I told them, listen, guys, you really need to take this into consideration. You guys, you need to speak to sellers. Ask them what is happening. Speak to them. You know, it's not just like wake up in the morning, you know what, we decide to do this, bingo, let's do it. and you don't care about your business, you should speak to people. Your sales, your customer service people, they need to know information. And I'll tell you something. I don't know if you realize that if you're speaking to sales, the customer service from the US, they are more expert. Like they've got a lot of knowledge. They know they can answer to your questions, and they know. But when you speak to somebody from out of the US, they're really lost. Like, what is flag? No, flag. Just give me a second. You don't know. So everybody is messed up. Nobody knows anything. And yesterday I made a call because one of my accounts is flagged, and then I made a call and I spoke to one of the guys there, and then they had to transfer my call to transfer, and then I end up with one of them, and then he was like, "Oh, your account it's perfect. You're like my partner was like laughing at him. He said, "Well, you making so many photos. Photos are great quality. The price is good. 100% positive feedback." And then the shocking part, he was like, "Well, we are trying to tell people to improve those things that you have already. Those things. There is nothing we can tell you, honestly." So I told him, "So what's the solution? What's your solution?" I said, "You know what? I have no idea. I'm gonna write the report and send it to them and get back to you." Seriously? And I'm like, "Okay, thank you, bye."
Yeah.
And there was no.
That's what's so frustrating about dealing with eBay is like, I used to think of eBay as like a business that I could communicate with, but it's not. It's like an algorithm that has a bunch of employees and they can touch it, but you can't really communicate very easily with eBay. Even, for example, when you have an enterprise store or an anchor store in eBay US, you get access to a merchant support team. And these are all people who have a lot of experience. They really they could talk about eBay for hours. You're encouraged to call them and just ask them questions, right? And so there was a recurring history of me calling, being like, "Hey, I think this thing is going to happen. What do I do to prevent it?" "Oh, okay. Oh, it's fine. All right." And then a month later, boom, the thing happens. And for example, I changed my billing address once. I changed the billing cycle. All eBay accounts are billed either on the 1st or the 15th. So in some situations, you can actually switch your billing cycle, right? So I did this, and I was told that it didn't work, and then it did happen, and it did go through, and then I was told that it didn't work, and then it actually successfully went through. So I was told multiple different things. And there was also a time when... Yeah, that was just a recurring theme with eBay is, okay. Sorry, I'm getting a bit sidetracked. So after I got banned, I lived with somebody who was also doing eBay stuff. He called eBay, because he was concerned that because I got banned and I live in the same house as him, that he's going to get in trouble. He called twice. Both times, they said everything's fine, don't worry about it. It's okay. 1 month later, permanently banned. Like, just frustrating, what one rep says doesn't really matter. And that's one thing. On the other hand, on the positive side, it means that if you don't get an answer that you like, sometimes you really can just call back and try again, and it'll work. So, I don't know, because, I'm complaining, but at the same time, it's also really useful to just be able to double try, triple try, and things work out sometimes.
It's crazy. I have spoken to those, I don't know, they're poor people. I don't blame them because they're doing their job. They're reading script, And I spoke to one of them last week, and I told them, "Listen, my supplier is charging me taxes, and I want to charge my customers in eBay a tax." And he said, "Yeah, you can do it. There's no problem about it." And guess what? He said, "You go, you fill up the state, each state how much tax you want to fill, and it's fine. You don't have problem." I said, "I'm not based in US. Can I collect taxes?" He said, "Yes, it's fine. Not a problem." And I still have proof. I record that audio, like that conversation. He said, "There's no problem. I'll walk you through. I'll show you." And he went through everything. Guess what? After a week, they sent me an email. "We need you to prove that you are eligible to collect taxes." I was like, what the hell is going on with eBay? Like, it's crazy. Like, they don't know it. The information, it's not Like 1 plus 1 equal 2. It's equal to, maybe sometimes it's -5,
Yeah.
maybe it's plus.
Most of the time 1 plus 1 is 2, except when it's not. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, crazy.
See. Somebody from DSM Tool is here. I don't know if it's Kafir
Yeah.
or one of the others. So it's actually, I should talk to them, because so it would be really easy for them to fix that meta thing. Like if the Amazon links are showing up in the eBay listings in the meta content in the HTML, that's a super simple fix from the software creator's perspective. They don't really have to change much at all.
Mm. Yeah, well, we need to speak to them, because I've got proof, because I have seen it. And
One of them is listening right now, so we are speaking to them.
Yeah, I'm glad. I love to speak to anybody, because this problem, it affects DSM tool as well. It affects DSM tool. It affects AutoDS. It affects all the websites or the software that they do auto, or the EPR. They're using EPR with eBay. So what happened now? Most of the drop shippers, they're freaking out. So what do? They get out of those listings. They get out of the EPRs. Like they don't want to use EPRs anymore. They're using manual, and then that drops the sell. Like DSM Tool, I think they lost a lot of their customers, and AutoDS and all of those monitors. So what I'm suggesting is to find a way. I know eBay is crazy. They will never find a way. They might, but I don't know. I doubt it. So they have to find a way in order for them to have something like 100% sure. Like not today they will tell us something, and then the next day they will tell us no other thing. So let's see, for instance, DSM. So they need to speak to eBay, like have a meeting and have a live chat with them. Like listen, guys, we are having a problem. Everybody's freaking out. You need to solve this issue. We are losing business. If we lost business, you're gonna lose business. We need to set up this thing, and then once for all. So if DSM Tool can do it, AutoDS can do it, Shockmaster can do it, all those sites can fix this EPA issue. Dropshippers, they know what they're talking about, because they're lost. I know, like for a fact, I'm speaking to Moroccans yesterday, I had a live chat. Everybody's freaking out. They don't know what is happening. People, they want to learn. They want to earn money as well. But they're freaking out. What should we do? And I found, and I hope DSM Tool can fix this, because the metadata in the photos and in the description, it exists. It's there. So hopefully, if they can fix that, me personally, will share the video on details that DSM Tool remove that and then it's fixed it. Because I spoke to it in my channel. I spoke about flat accounts and I spoke about APIs. There is a problem with the metadata and description. So hopefully they can fix it. Hopefully, I'm hoping so.
This is funny that you bring this up, because it touches on the subject of what eBay is and what we were talking about earlier, and how you can't really just, even as someone who develops software for eBay and you have a relationship with them, it's not as simple as just being able to sit down with them and have a conversation and everything is figured out. They don't really have the ability to do this. The only way that they can meet with people is to actually go to eBay's like headquarters and participate in the events and that kind of thing. But even physical sellers, like when they do this, it's common to not feel like the experience was very beneficial. In a lot of ways, eBay can be a really, really frustrating platform to communicate with for this reason. And there are reasons that eBay is trying to be in Amazon's shadow, and like you said, not understanding how to be different. A lot of eBay's decisions kind of reflect that it isn't a properly managed company, and it could learn a lot about just being more effective and getting closer to its sellers, which are what makes it what it is, right? And there's a lot of integral problems in eBay. And like, for example, one of the big problems from eBay's perspective right now is that eBay has a lot of new customers. They're regularly getting new customers onto their platform. The problem is that these new customers aren't staying on eBay. So even though eBay is getting better at bringing more people to it, it is failing to retain these customers. And that's why eBay isn't improving. Like almost all major e-commerce marketplaces constantly grow, essentially. Whereas eBay has remained relatively the same, which isn't like it's failing, but I mean, not growing is a concern, right? So eBay has polled its customers who leave the platform to try and figure out why all these people are not staying on the platform. And the most common answer that they get is that the person is unable to find the product that they are looking for. And so this this can kind of help understand what's going on in eBay itself that leads to eBay wanting to control dropshipping more. Because like myself, the way I was dropshipping, like absolutely horrible for eBay. I uploaded hundreds of thousands of just random freaking ass products, right? That's not good for eBay. That degrades the customer experience because it creates all of these extra products that aren't interesting and people don't really want necessarily, or there's hundreds of the same exact thing with different, like little bit different title, like maybe the photo's upside down once or twice, you know? So this is kind of why eBay is targeting dropshippers, because it is true that dropshipping brings income to eBay, but it's also true that dropshippers do account for a lot of the negative customer service experience on eBay. Not all of it. It absolutely is a lot of eBay's fault as well, and just people. But it's not as simple as like dropshippers are innocent, because like you said, a lot of us, and I say us because like when I was dropshipping, I was just experimenting. I was being like that. I didn't give a crap. I mean, I would like refund people, make sure that all happened, but I didn't respond to messages if there wasn't a quick solution. I just didn't, right? And a lot of us dropship this way, which isn't like, that's not good. It's not effective in the long run.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you something. I've got 14 years experience in management. So I worked with the biggest companies in, I might say, in the world, not in tech or, but I worked with the biggest companies. The problem is, people are more concerned about numbers, like they just want to look at numbers, but they don't look at what is happening the inside. They have to look at the inside. Like, they have to sit down and see what is happening. Like, it's not like wake up in the morning and say, you know what, let's flag dropshippers because we've got a bad experience about. No, you need to fix the issue. Like, for instance, I dropshipped in Amazon. The first thing I started is dropshipping in Amazon. And Amazon is very professional. You type your name, your user, your details, give us like proof that you are, I mean, it's a real person. And then later you can work. As long as you don't have problems, as long as your feedbacks are great, as long as you ship products on time, as long as everything is perfect, they won't close your account. They will close it only if you suck at what you're doing. Only I have never seen somebody from Amazon telling me that, oh, I got my account is closed because they just decided to close my account because there is no reason. And I've heard millions, not thousands, millions of people, their account got suspended. And MC011, MC010, a bunch of them. And this is the problem is management need to sit down and talk to sellers, because sellers, they know more than they do. I know they can sit and talk about the software, Kazini, algorithm, and blah, blah, blah. No, the product that exists in eBay doesn't exist in Amazon. That they have to know that, because a lot of people from China, from Israel, from Morocco, from all over the world, they are selling the product. Amazon, it's not. Amazon, not. But it's a big difference. So they have to sit down and talk about it. How can we improve it? Who are the people that we are doing business with? Sellers. Okay, so let's take the top sellers that they are performing better. Let's have a chat meeting with them. Let's discuss business matter. Let's see what are they talking about. You know, you have to talk about both parts. Like the coin has two parts. So you're not gonna look on the coin like from this side. No, you have to look at from this side and from the other side. So for them, that closed mind, they don't look at it. And I'm sure they don't speak to sellers. And that's why it's up. Like, I have received thousands of messages today. You cannot believe. My team that are working with answering emails now, promise you, everybody's asking about Flags account, my account is suspended. Flags account, my account is suspended. Why? We can increase the sales. If eBay does $2 billion a year, they can make 20 billions a year, but they just need to be open. You need to listen to other people. Listen. Amazon, it does listen. Amazon see what is happening. But they want to compete with them. They create their warehouse in Kentucky, but it's not doing well. And I hope, really hope that eBay can listen, can improve their whatever they're doing, because it's not good. I think there are a lot of comments down. Okay. Okay, so I think this until we're trying to see something every day.
Yeah, it definitely sucks to receive a message along the lines of, all right, we've closed your account and we can't tell you why because that information could be used against us. And it's like, nice. That's effectively an experience that a lot of people have with eBay. So DSM said, Jack, also regarding having multiple similar items with slight changes, eBay new product experience might affect that as well. eBay is changing into the buy box. So this reminds me of something, actually. One of the eBay sellers I know, one of the things that he swears by is revising your items regularly. So like he trains people to revise like 4% of their store every day, and specifically to change either the price, the title, or something in the description. And like he absolutely swears by that. And I've always thought of that as like, I don't know, like that people also talk about being logged into your eBay account and that making sales more likely. And I think that these are kind of, they sound far-fetched to me. Like, I don't think eBay is constantly looking to see if we're logged in and like giving us sales when we are, you know? So it's important to be a bit careful with these things that we hear. But at the same time, this is a person I really respect and who has a lot of experience and who really knows what they're talking about. And they firmly believe that revising and editing your listings in some way regularly helps them perform well in eBay analytics.
Well, I'll tell you, this is bullshit. Why? I've got 2 computers and 2 screens, and all my stores are open, and all my listing is revised.
Yeah, that one's definitely bullshit. I agree. But the revision one, what do you think about that one? What do you think about the concept of revising your listings? Do you think that revising a listing has any effect on the listing's performance in search results? Like, say that eBay sees, oh, this listing was revised yesterday versus this listing was created 90 days ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's true. It's true, but it's not because eBay sees you that you revise your item, you jump on the first page. No. Logically, not. What is happening when you revise your title? Definitely, you're gonna have different results. If you revise your description, because there are some details there that will make your products ranked. So it's not about how long you take in a computer in your account in order for you to rank higher. No. It's about what you're using your title, your listing. Is the title? Is the description? Is the features? Each product, is it kids friendly? Is it plastic? Is it from US? Is it, those details that makes a difference in a listing. Description, especially description. How it is nice, how the keywords and stuff. That's what brings you. It's not like a house thing 24 hours and in your listing, and that's gonna like raise you to the first page of the search result. No, that's wrong. Because I have accounts that it's open 24/7.
Yeah.
Revised list, and those listings are not selling. The product, if it's not selling, it's not selling. That's it. It's done.
And that's exactly what makes learning about this kind of stuff so tricky, is because there's so many things that people believe that aren't necessarily true at all. And then there's also things that most people, you know, don't think are real, but actually are real. And it can be quite tricky to differentiate. But so, okay. So DSM Tool mentioned something that I think is interesting. So they said, what about end and immediately relisting listings? And I have some experiences that I had with bulk posting relevant to this concept. So also with selling Game Boys. So just really quick backstory. You know Nintendo Game Boys? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Do you know the company Nintendo?
Okay.
Okay, so the first product that they did that made them successful, or one of their hugely successful products. It wasn't the first one. It was a Game Boy.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so when I was selling physically on eBay, I would purchase these Game Boys, and I would clean them and fix them, and then I would resell them, right? So I got a lot of experiences recreating listings. Exactly. Yep, exactly. Yeah. Perfect.
No, just talking about.
And so one super interesting observation with these listings is that I reposted these listings to sell these Game Boys multiple times over the years on eBay. And what I noticed is that I could have a listing with the exact same contents, right? So imagine there are 3 listings. One is for a yellow Game Boy, one is for a gray Game Boy, and one is for a black Game Boy. I post all 3 of these listings. And aside from the color difference, everything else is the same. Descriptions, everything else is the same. Angle of photos, all the same, right? And in this first batch, the gray Game Boy, the default color one, gets way more views than the others. So in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You know, the base color is what people are more interested in, right? But then I do it again, like 2 months later. And in this situation, one of the colored Game Boy ads gets all of the views and grows at the same rate that the original one grew in the beginning. And that was the first time that I really started to understand that a lot of like listing growth on eBay, it's not like everything is stuck the way it is. If buyers are interacting with your products, this literally makes them perform better. So I was wrong to assume that in that first situation with the 3 Game Boys, people bought the gray one because that was the one more people wanted. That wasn't the reality. The reason that listing got more views is because more people engaged with it, just by coincidence, versus the other listings, right? And so what I found that it's more like is like rolling the dice. Every time I would make these multiple different listings, 1 or 2 of them would just outperform all the others. And it was a really, really interesting experience. I also noticed that when I was bulk posting, I would post like 10,000 items in a day. In some situations, like 30,000 items in a day, right? And so one time what I did as an experiment, I wanted to see, okay, I have a bunch of items that are really old. Like, they were like 6 months old or something like this. So yeah, I may have 40,000 items, but like 20,000 of them are old, right? So what happens if I repost all of these items just like that, right? So I started adopting a policy where I would repost all of the items in my store. And what I noticed is that the same thing was happening again, where an item got like no attention in the first 90 days, right? But then when I deleted it and relisted it, even with the same credentials, same photos, everything was identical. Sometimes some items just suddenly started performing well. And that, again, is another indication that, one, if you have an underperforming listing, relisting it, like taking it down and relisting it, does restart that window of opportunity to get noticed. But 2, what really matters, what it really boils down to, is people engaging with your listing, people looking at it, purchasing it, watching it. If this happens within the beginning of a listing's life cycle, it's going to get more attention and more traffic. And it's important to understand that you can have the exact same listing and reiterate it, and sometimes different things will happen to that identical listing.
Okay, because they seem to, they was talking about listing and real listing. I'll tell you something. Imagine with me, like, that's what I was mentioning, that eBay want to be Amazon, but they will never be. What they have done, they created a promoted listing, because before, if you don't have a store, you wouldn't be able to do promoted listing. Now they are doing promoted listing for everybody. Just want to learn, like, earn money. What happened? I have the same product, same description, same title. There is no difference, nothing. One is promoted listing, one is not promoted listing. The one is not promoted listing is selling better than the other one is not promoted listing. So you cannot figure out what the hell is going on. Like, this product, I'm giving you guys money to put it in the first page so I can sell, but it's not selling. And the other one, without promoted listing, it's selling better. It's the same product. And it makes me think, because I speak logically. Amazon, what is happening? If you decided to, for instance, to sell this product, you buy it from China, you send it to, there is a process. You send it to FBA, to their warehouse. You take photos, descriptions, and everything. So what Amazon tells you? This product you want to sell it? Do market it, PPCs. You put it in the first page, people, they will click on it. As soon as you get more reviews, as more as you get feedback, as more as you will be ranked in the first page. 1 + 1 = 2.
Always.
That's it. If the product is good, people want it, you will buy it. More sales, more reviews, more you will be ranked in the first page. eBay doesn't have that. Nobody has a clue what is happening. How can I rank the first page? How can I? They don't know, like, because there is no rules. Like, there is no rules on eBay, and Amazon stated it.
I know how you can rank on the first page. You can be the only person selling one thing. Then you will always rank.
It's crazy, isn't it? And Amazon, they have that process. Like all the gurus, like, I have watched tons of courses. I've got tons of courses that I've watched. And then we're talking about Amazon, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Buy product, send it to warehouse, promoted listing, and then sell it for 70% in order to get feedback. As soon as you get feedback, you will be ranked to first page. That's it. It's simple. But eBay, no one, I promise you, there is no one can give you an exact thing, because nobody knows. Even people who works in eBay, they don't know. Like, management and headquarters, their information, it's there, but the other people around the world that they work for them, they have no clue what's happening. So that is the problem. That is the issue. If we can sit down and share the information with people. Buy box. What is buy box in eBay? Can you just tell me what is the difference between me having a buy box? You don't have a Everybody has a buy box. Everybody has a buy box. So you just click add to cart and purchase.
So
Amazon is.
That's not, so when people say buy box, what they're referring to is that, okay, so a non-buy box experience means that all items are treated as unique, even if they are the same item. So imagine you have 10 sellers who are all selling the same Game Boy. This is shown as 10 different listings. Okay, so this allows individual sellers to, like, perform better and show up earlier in that 10 listings, right? And get more sales because of that. When a platform uses a buy box system, instead of those 10 listings being separate, there is only one listing for this item. So this means that most of the sales go to whoever owns that first place in the buy box, which is typically determined by price. So a lot of people complain about buy box because it becomes all about being that first person. or it's basically all or nothing. If a product has a buy box, the people who own the buy box, that means they are number one in it. That means they will get almost all the sales. The others will only sell when that person is out of stock or something, right? So I just wanted to make sure we explain this for the people who may be a bit confused.
That's for Amazon. You're correct. You're right. It's for Amazon, but eBay it's not. Because Amazon
eBay it is, but for some of their products. eBay's building a catalog of products that it does this buy box experience for, but at the moment it's only for specific items. So as a dropshipper, there are some items that if you try and sell them, it will be put in a buy box on eBay, whereas most other items are not yet on the buy box. The important thing to understand on eBay regarding the buy box is that in order for eBay to fully implement the buy box, it has to create a database of every single item that can be sold, which is huge. Like that's really tricky to do, right? So eBay is in the process of doing this, but it is transitioning towards the buy box experience on Amazon. That is eBay's goal.
Yeah. And let's see some questions. Online immersion is not. It is much less about patient sessions and image patient. Nice to have tips.
Yeah, you can share anything you want, Tech Sam. Don't worry about me accepting anything.
Yeah, well, we will answer to people's questions, but it's just because we went to share more information, and those information are really helpful. So that's why sometimes I don't really like. You might, because you read the comments better than I do, because that's too small in my computer. So you might just go ahead.
So what I do when I'm doing a live stream is I just go to the live stream on my phone. Just put my phone on my, so it becomes really confusing when they're looking at a live stream and the live stream is showing the live stream and a chat and everything, you know. So Nasnoka says that when they relist an end item, eBay is not giving option for 30 days. The only option is good till canceled, and that's because eBay is getting rid of eBay wants everybody using buy it now listings to only use good till canceled listings. They're getting rid of 7-day listings, 30 days, all of this stuff. That's just for auctions. So now the only format for a buy it now listing is to post it, and then if it doesn't sell in 30 days, you pay again. And then 30 days later, you pay again.
Yeah. What else we have? Just arguments. Okay, so because some people are asking about agreements with suppliers that prove that you have a right to sell those items in your store. Okay, you have to have because some people in AliExpress, there are some suppliers that provide this agreement, but I spoke to some people from
show you one
Banggood. From Banggood, I think Nahar, he was mentioned at the last time in one of his life, and he says that they are dealing with they are making an agreement between them, between Banggood and their platform in order to get that agreement. So if you sign up to their platform AutoDS, then you get that agreement, and then you can show it to eBay. And that's the tricky part. Even though if you show that agreements, at one chance the fact that you're flagged, because you will be flagged for 1 or 2 months. And some people, they tell me that they've got proof that they got unflagged. I spoke to eBay customer service more than 20 times. So everybody's giving me different ideas, different thoughts, different solutions, and different things. So I don't know, it's something 100%.
Well, we need to make a distinction here, because there is, so what we're referring to as the dropshipping flag. the reality is there are many different things that eBay will flag an account for. The dropshipping flag is just like, that's what us as non-eBay staff call their recent changes over the past year that have reduced traffic for dropshippers, where we were referring to this dropshipping flag. However, prior to this, there are other flags that especially internationals face a lot. And so one of those flags requires that you prove what you're doing and who you are, and you show invoices to show that you're not stealing the products. So it's important that we bring up the fact that there are many different kinds of flags on eBay. And so providing documentation to get rid of a flag will be different depending on what kind of flag you're talking about, because there are hard flags and soft flags, right? So a hard flag is like, your account is suspended until you prove this. That is a hard flag. A soft flag, you don't even necessarily know that you've been flagged, which is what the dropshipping flag is. It happens and you can see that your traffic plummeted overnight, but you have no idea why. That's an indication that you experienced the soft dropshipping flag. But this is quite different than you being an international and getting flagged and being shown, okay, your account is suspended until you prove what you're doing, right? And I just want to make sure we bring this up, because flagging in general is something eBay has done for a long time. It's how eBay exists and how it monitors its system. And it's important that we don't forget that there are a lot of other different flags as well. The dropshipping flag is just one of them.
Yeah, throttling accounts.
And here, so I'll show you guys real quick. I have in my email an example of what one of these dropshipping agreements looks like. So this is from a company called Acme United, and they sell like health, like what are they called? First aid kits and that kind of thing, right? So if I scroll down here, this is the credit application. Here we go. So we have an agreement like this, right? It's just a document on a piece of paper. And then in the bottom, there's signatures. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about documentation. Is something that is, eBay can ask you, hey, you have a relationship with your source, right? And then you're like, hey, here's my proof of relationship with source. It's not like this is a golden magical ticket and it's just going to fix everything. It's just more backup that you can have to prove your legitimacy and go through that process of becoming unthrottled. Because like you said earlier, it's not like there's some magical document and you can just get it and then tomorrow you're unflagged. It takes a month or two, because eBay isn't just looking at, okay, you gave us a document. They're also looking at your account to make sure that you are doing what you say that you're doing and that that document is relevant. They're not just going to blindly follow some piece of paper that you give them. But being able to provide the agreement does give you more legitimacy, which is able to be used in these kinds of situations.
What do you think? What do you think about? Because some people they were asking when eBay asked you for invoices. Like for instance, some people that work in Amazon with Amazon and Walmart and Season and Kmart and all that. So what do you think about providing invoices for product that they were selling? Regardless that documentation.
This touches on that different flag, because typically when somebody gets flagged, even before the changes, this is a situation that would happen to people, is they've been drop shipping and then eBay temporarily suspends their account and asks them to provide invoices. So eBay isn't looking for eBay isn't looking for like receipts of orders. What eBay is looking for is, again, from their perspective, drop shipping is something that is done with a wholesaler. So essentially, you have proof that you have purchased like 100 of this item for this price. When they say invoice, that's what they're talking about. They're not looking for individual receipts of items. They're more looking for a bulk receipt. And the main distinction
Okay.
between an invoice and a receipt is that, again, in eBay's eyes, we have relationships with these sources. We just order stuff from them, and then on a certain day every month, they bill us for the stuff that we ordered. That is an invoice. It's recurring because we have this agreement with the source, which is different from a receipt, which is just, in this context, is you ordered this, so I sent you this. Whereas what eBay wants is these, like, they're basically receipts, except they show multiple orders in one. That's ideally what eBay wants. There are cases where people have been able to lift these holds by showing that they have purchased the items online on like a marketplace. But you know, you'll get people who say that that works and other people who say that they didn't accept it, and it depends a lot.
Because there are a lot of people who spoke to me yesterday and they told me that when they're sourcing from Amazon or Walmart, they get invoices from the platform. But the problem is they cannot send it to eBay because it's not allowed to dropship from Amazon or Walmart. That's why they don't know how they can find those kind of invoices in order to provide eBay.
Technically, it would be possible to just produce a document in that specific case, like where a person has their account suspended until they prove. You just have to picture what eBay has in mind when they're talking about an invoice. And there's a reason they use the word invoice, not receipt. In eBay's head, as a legitimate dropshipper, you have a source that you send orders to and they fulfill them, and then every 30 days they bill you. Essentially what they want is a bill showing that period's transaction history. That's the invoice. That's what they're talking about. So this is why just having Walmart or Amazon receipts isn't necessarily enough. And also because, you know, eBay doesn't want you to be sourcing from Walmart or Amazon. But it would be possible, and I have heard of people just creating documents and making it look like an invoice where they have a relationship with this source and they placed all these orders, they were billed. What you would have to do that is you would need 30 days of data from your store, and you would start with identifying every sale in the invoice to explain it in the invoice. The problem is that if eBay were to look into it, maybe they would see that, okay, this claimed website as the source isn't real, it doesn't exist. However, eBay isn't necessarily always going to check these things. So sometimes there are workarounds that you can do like this. And like, honestly, this is how a lot of the people who sell stealth accounts, what they do is they know exactly what eBay is looking for. They know what the form needs to look like and what information it needs to have to not raise any questions. And because they know this, they're able to replicate them and upload like custom-made documents and this kind of thing. But that's pretty, you know, it's kind of sketchy territory.
Yeah, it is. The Financial Freedom Network, he says, I have an evidence of someone being unflagged within 2 weeks of it's being escalated. Unfortunately, eBay reps don't know it. Of course, that's what we're talking about. They don't know. Not all of them, they know about it. Khadija said, how can we delete the source of Amazon if it finds it in a photo? That's why I told you, Khadija, you have to watch my video that I've posted on my channel. You have to take a photo, save it in your computer, use Photoshop, rename it, then use it.
Oh, to get rid of the metadata?
Yeah, for the metadata.
Do you know the tool snipping tool?
Pardon?
Do you know the tool snipping tool?
Yeah.
It's essentially the same process, but if you're downloading a photo and converting it to a different photo and changing the name, that's really time consuming. So what's often easier is that you have a photo on your screen. And so I'll show you guys on the live stream, right? Say that this was a product. I guess I can go as an example. I'll go to Amazon. And let's just find some random product here. I'll just go with the first one for sale on Amazon, which is an Echo Dot. We're going to click on this photo. So what we're talking about right now is metadata. If I were to right click on this photo and click Save As, I'm downloading information about the image that can be used to identify that the image is from Amazon, right?
Yeah.
So what people are talking about is downloading the image and then changing the name and the format so that you get rid of this data. But a faster way to do that than downloading it is to use something that takes a screenshot of your screen. Because when you do it this way, you create a unique photo. Like right now, what I'm doing. Oh, 1 second, let me do it again, sorry. I'm opening snipping tool, and then I'm just clicking. Sorry, my mouse is freaking out. I'm clicking the part of the screen that I want to copy and make the image. And then it copies that, and then you can save the image. And when you do it this way, you are creating a new image. The only thing that's there are the pixels. There's no metadata, anything else. So you can pick what you want for the file name and that kind of thing. But I just heard somebody mention Photoshop, and it's important to understand that you don't have to use complicated tools to get rid of the metadata of a picture. You can just use a screenshot of it instead of downloading it.
Hamza, Assad, you are right. Jack already talked about the Looker Express solutions on his dropshipping course too. Oh, okay. Should I end up some of my listings since they have been in Amazon? No. Well, the people who've already realized that they've got a metadata on their listing, just revise it. Just revise it. I use actually print screen sometimes, or I use Photoshop if I want to add something to the photo. But print screen, you just command in my Mac is Command Shift 4, and then I select the area that I want to take the photo, and then it's easy. But if I want to use Photoshop, it's just I want to create like something special
add text or something,
something. And for anybody who's already has those metadata, what he has to do is he need to go to revise the listing. Go to description, click HTML, and see if you've got this metadata in there. If it is not, you get to go. If it is, you use Word or Google Doc, and then you copy all this information and paste it there, and you will have no metadata there. Photo is easy, as Jack was mentioned earlier. So you don't have a problem. You don't need to cancel all the listings. Yeah, they sent to there saying be good to see it, because I think I'm already late reading this information. Some powerful guys like you in this planet. Well, thank you, Sam, Tech Sam. We are doing our best. We're trying to show you guys and provide you with the information that you might help you to scale and grow your business. As Jackie does already for quite a long time before I do. And you guys talk about product optimization. All right, so what do you mean by product optimization? Product optimization is you've got a title, you've got description, photo, bullet points, and all of that. So you really need to do to work with you. We are talking about manual. Manual, you really need to do the best. Sometimes, I'll tell you something. It is a weird thing that I will tell you now. There are a lot of people are looking for a different special title. There are two things. One title that will differentiate your product, and it might take you to somewhere else than you're not supposed to be. And sometimes you're using the same title, you get the same data as everybody. And sometimes you sell more than anybody with the same title. So what you have to do is optimize your photo, your description. And title sometimes. Sometimes I don't really sometimes change the title. I work with the same title sometimes. And I sell more than if I change the title different. Some people, they change even the categories. people are changing categories as well. So changing the category, it might differentiate your product and get you somewhere else. It might be like you can show it in the search results somewhere else, but I don't do it. I use the same thing. I use the same title. I just look and make the description looks beautiful. That is my goal. If I want to sell you something, and I have just given an example yesterday, and then I want to sell something like this, you won't take it. So if I do like this is my product, and I like hold it like this and I show it to you, that it's a value. But if I sell something like it is the Game Boy if you want to buy it, no. But if I do like this, look at this beautiful, and it's an see-through, beautiful 1865, and I talk about it and then I show it nicer, that people will buy it from me. But if I just threw it there, very bad photo, description doesn't look nice, and all those details, that makes you stand out, especially the description. I always talk about description.
This brings up a good point, because if you're trying to optimize listings and you feel that you don't really understand what this means, you hear the word optimize, well, all you need to do is go to eBay and imagine that you want to buy something. Like, you're not actually going to buy anything, but you're just going to be like, all right, I'm going to look at boats because I want to find a boat I really like. So search for your thing, whatever you want. I can actually just do a mock run through of this, right? We're on Amazon, whatever. I'm going to stay on Amazon, and I'm going to go to all departments, and I'm going to search for boats. And remember, I'm trying to learn what optimization is, right? So straight off the bat, we have 8 different images here. Which ones are more interesting? Which ones draw my attention? What does my brain notice? Well, okay, the first thing I notice is that there's some repeat products. I see that these ones are kind of nice. There's a picture that's just like a girl. That is not even a boat. So that's definitely just sex appeal. But that's a thing. That's a strategy people use, right? Whereas these ones are boxes. So if you can just browse as a buyer, then imagine what you like. And think about this. Ask yourself, why is my eye drawn to this? Another example, like you see all this information, boom, this has 1 out of 5 stars. Like, oh, I don't like that, right? So think about what your eBay buyers are experiencing when they're looking at your store. And it's important as a seller to not get too lost in the selling. You want to make sure that you're also aware of how buyers use your platform, because this is going to enable you to understand why it matters to change the title and the photos and to present it properly.
Yeah. So as you see, like, as I mentioned, because the listing, the first thing that they have to look is your photo. If the photo stands out, people will click on it. So you will have higher chance click-through rates. So you will have that. And then the rest, after checking your photo, I mean, as soon as I see the photo, I go in. As soon as I get in, first thing I look at is technically the price, yes. But when you look at the description, the description is very nice, bold colors, and it's professional with your shipping. Like, it looks nice. It looks professional. It's not too much details. It's not too much lines. Too much like crazy. You can read it like too much lines and stuff. No, make it looks nice. And definitely, people want to buy the product. They're buying experience. That's the thing. People are buying experience more than buying product, and that's what eBay sellers they need to understand. They are selling feelings. It's a photo. It's a feelings. It's those details. And thanks to this and so, because I see that they're trying hard. Like, they're trying hard to develop their software, and then they want to make it better. They want to make it nicer, and it's good. It's good. If the design tool think like this, it's amazing for the business. It will improve, and then it will affect other sellers. You want to join this into why? Because it's special. And that's the thing. If this tool can stand out of all other platforms, then they will do good business. Like a lot of people, they were talking about variation. This tool being here in the business for quite a long time, and he did not create this option for people to use variation. He did not. And then people goes to Shopmaster or AutoDS in order to use variation. So what has EDSM tool to do is to get the information from sellers. What can we improve? What can we do to make this M tool easy for you to use? Because I love this M tool, to be honest with you. I use it. I have this M tool in my 2 accounts, and it's easy to use, like just easy to use. Dashboard, prices, everything is there. And if they can improve it, well, it's nice. And I thank them for this. I will check that, and I will go and see what's the new features that you've done.
Yeah, what I like about both AutoDS and DSM tool is that they both are run by people who they don't just like sit on their software company or are like, oh, everything's going to be great, everything's figured out, I have this amazing tool. They're constantly like seeing what the competition is doing and watching videos on YouTube, seeing what people are talking about. Like both DSM tool and AutoDS do pay a lot of attention to this, and because of that, it doesn't take them very long to adapt to new conditions. So all these changes with eBay are fairly recent, so it feels like the tools aren't adapting. But a year from now, it's going to be a different situation, a different story, right? So it's going to be really interesting seeing how things go, especially because like right now, a lot of people don't trust the tools anymore. They don't trust the API link, right? So there's other places that, or other tools, for example, like SkuGrid, are now in a really good situation because they're one of the only tools that allows integration of eBay without the API link. And this is hilarious because earlier this year, SkuGrid made a decision that screwed over a bunch of its users that was really irresponsible. And so it's funny that despite that they did this, they are now in a position where they are a more appealing tool to most people because of the lack of the API connection and the whole manual drop shipping interest. So it's funny how this works out, right?
Yeah, correct. And Nahar, because I've seen him doing 3 lives in his channel, AutoDS.
Are you talking about, because Nahar is from Zik Analytics, Lior is from AutoDS.
Lior, sorry.
Lior, yeah.
Lior. Yeah, Lior. I was mentioning Lior, sorry. I was mistaken. Yes. They're both in the same country, so that's why.
Yeah. So, a lot of the software people are in Israel.
Yeah. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Is differentiation. People, they have to be different. To stand out, you need to be different. Because Israeli people, they're smart, they're making so much softwares and making, you see, they're looking for problems. Here's a problem, let's do. We have a problem, let's sort it out. Here is solution. So they come with solution because they find solution, they are number one. So as more as you find solution and you differentiate yourself, you'll be winner. Have you ever heard of software in US? No. US, they've been dropshipping for it. For a long time, but they've never promoted, like they're not number one on softwares, but Israelis, they are, because they are looking at the problem and making a solution. So yeah,
I think I got about 10 more minutes and then I'm gonna end the live stream. So if any of you guys listening want to ask any questions before we leave, now's your chance. Or if there's anything you want to talk about, Assad.
As you like. I'm here. I'm taking free. I'm giving free time for everybody who want to ask questions. And yeah.
So earlier you were saying that you had problems with Walmart When you drop ship, what sources do you use now?
I use Amazon and AliExpress only.
Only AliExpress and Amazon.
Interesting. Amazon and huh? For the moment, actually.
Yeah. Good correction.
Well, because we don't know. Let's see, for instance, if I found a platform that is easy to use and I don't have a problem, I will jump to it. So we want to find somewhere that we can do business and with no problem. So for the moment, I am using Amazon because it's easy to use.
They ship so fast.
It ships so fast, and then if you want to return the product, you can just click bang bang and request the return, and then they will get it back and give you a refund after 24 hours. And I get my supplier to give you a good discount for my gift cards. Bingo. So why do I have to go to Walmart? They're screwing me up with my customers. They're like tons of returns and
yeah, isn't it international? It makes sense.
You see the difference between me and you, because me, I'm based out of the US, so I am not eligible to sell in some platforms. Home Depot, I am not. Sears, I'm not. Lowe's, I'm not. So there are some sites that it's too hard to use. But Amazon is not. AliExpress is not. You go, you create an account, you buy, you sell. That's the business. And I use it. That's why it's easy for me. And PayPal is also asking for documents, even if you provide them. Yeah, of course. Well, I'll speak about something about PayPal and Pioneer. PayPal and Pioneer. They want to have legitimate people. They want to have people who want to do business. They don't want scammers. They don't want people to just screw things up and have a very bad experience. Same as eBay and Amazon. eBay, Amazon, and except eBay. eBay, they don't just crazy things. Nobody knows what is happening. For eBay and PayPal, we've got some people there. If anybody wants to have, we are working on the service that anybody who has a problem with PayPal and Payoneer together to connect them together. We've got people who does help us on doing that as well. So provide them with what you bought. Like for instance, if I buy a product from Amazon or Walmart or whatever supplier, I ask for invoices, and those invoices I give them to PayPal. So it is no big deal about PayPal. It's not a big deal, and because there are so many restrictions, there is one that they want to know who you are, provide them with your information. There is one that they want to hold. I don't know how they call it. You might correct me, Jack. That they want to hold 20% restriction. That calls restriction thing something. You want to hold 20%
of a rolling reserve.
Yeah, rolling reserve in order to for your returns and all of that. But that's the system. You cannot skip it. There's a lot of people asking me, how can we skip it? No, you will go through that. 20% or 10% or 50% or whatever the percentage they will choose for you. If you're a new seller, you will need to go through a 3-month holding. They will hold your money for as soon as the product will be delivered, like 2 days after the delivery. You can contact them and call them, and they will release the money for you. But those next people, they just want to skip it. So just follow the process. And then if you have a problem, don't freak out and stop.
What PayPal really values is history. If PayPal can see that you have a year of history, 2 years of history, you aren't going to have anywhere near as many problems as you get in the very beginning, because they don't know who you are. You haven't shown them history. Like if you're drop shipping, for example, maybe you started drop shipping. First month you had like 3 sales, second month 20, and then like 5 sales the next month. They don't see predictability, right? In my case, PayPal placed a rolling reserve on my account about, I think, like a year into me drop shipping. So like after 1 year, they placed this reserve, right? So what's interesting about this is prior to the reserve, anytime I received a large transaction, like $1,000 sale, it would immediately get put on hold, okay? But after the reserve, all my money was instant, except the reserve meant that like 10 or 20, I don't remember how much it was, but it was a certain percentage of every incoming transaction was put on hold for 90 days. So I think it was like 10% of the money I receive, I don't get it until 90 days passes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to get this removed by lowering the price of my items and making them more predictable. So what I did is I transitioned into having a lot of cheaper items from Walmart, in this case, groceries in particular, like pickles and hot sauce and barbecue, all that kind of stuff, condiments. That was honestly what a lot of the sales on my bulk account were from. And this changed the history to PayPal. So from this point on, PayPal could see, okay, this person gets roughly between 10 and 20 transactions per day. That's regular. They are almost always between $10 and $40. That's regular. That's predictable. There's not these crazy big payments randomly coming in. There's not randomness to their payments that are being received. So after doing this for 6 months, I was able to communicate with PayPal and get them to remove the rolling reserve. And so that was 1 year and 6 months after I started really drop shipping, okay? At this point, all of my payments are instant, essentially, no matter what, no matter how big they are, no matter where they come from. I don't have any kinds of holds or reserves on my account anymore. But it took a lot of working with PayPal and listening to them in order to get to that point.
Yeah, I think for us, we got 20%, I think. Yeah? Yeah. For PayPal. The holds. 20%. 20%. 20%, and then 20%.
But for how many days is it held?
For every month.
So
at the end of the month,
30 days?
like 3 days needed.
Yeah.
And then the tricky part, they said that after 6 months, you will be going through this process for 6 months, and after 6 months, you will be released. And then guess what? If we receive like high amounts of money received in our accounts, like $1,000 or $500 or something, that goes directly to hold. You know, like they hold it. And then because what I do is I use the money from PayPal and transfer it to Payoneer, so I can use it because Payoneer is more
put on hold.
easy. And I can transfer money to my bank account here in Morocco and I can withdraw it. So what happened when you transfer money to Payoneer, and then if it's high, like 20,000 or 10,000 or something, you want to transfer it to your account, they will hold it for 24 hours. And they will say, okay, we just, for the security reason, we're gonna hold this payment for 24 hours, we're gonna check it out, and then later we can transfer it. Like, what the hell is going on? But it's okay, you know, it's part of the service. It's part of the system. I cannot just come and say, you know what, you shouldn't do that. So they know better. I've been with them for like 2 years now. So they know the account is being going smoothly and there's no problem. I never get holds. I get holds only if somebody sends me payment directly to my PayPal, just directly, and I will get hold. And then I have to contact him and tell him, listen, release that money. But otherwise, if the money comes from the website or from Amazon or PayPal, from eBay or from anywhere else, there's no hold on that. And I'm happy with it. I never got holds. So it's nice. It's part of the system. You need to follow that.
Yeah, the holds only suck in the beginning because once, like, say that you have a rolling reserve of 20% for 90 days. That first 90 days sucks because you get less of your money. But then every day you're getting money from 90 days ago. And that's what happened with me. Like I was like in a situation where every day there would be like $30 that got put into my PayPal account because 3 months ago I received, you know, $90, and so they put that much on hold. And so once you get past that initial point, then it becomes okay because yeah, they're taking money out of your sales, but you're also getting money that they took from your last couple months sales. So
well, there is a solution for that. I mean, I won't encourage people to wait for 3 months or 30 days or anything. Okay. There are two situations. One situation is China, and another one is the US. For China people, they have to wait for 21 days. There is no escaping from that at all. For 3 months, as soon as you open your account with eBay, you will have that. It's not a PayPal job because there are people are messed up. As soon as you're starting your account with eBay, eBay will hold that payment for 21 days until the product will be delivered. But if you work in China, you cannot skip from that. There is no way to skip from it. You will need to wait for the product to deliver or for that period to finish. But for the US people who are new, 3 months, like less than 3 months, what they have to do is deliver the product first. So you go to your eBay account. If you see that it's delivered, for instance, today we're on 25th of March. If it's delivered on 23rd, then 24th, 25th, I call it. I called eBay. Don't call PayPal. PayPal, they don't have a problem. eBay, they're the one who holding the money. So what I do is the customer received product on the 25th. On the 23rd, I call them 25. Hello, eBay. The product was delivered 24 hours. I need you to release that money. Straightforward. They will tell you, okay, they will go check the sales that you've done, and they will check anything that was in hold and it was delivered 24 hours before. They will release it automatically after, like, the next day. So in 12 hours, they will release it. So
you can get it sooner.
A lot of people called me and said that their money in hold, and then I give them this solution, and they were so happy, like, wow, we've called eBay to release our money. It's like, here we go. Especially for new people, you know, that they don't have that big budget.
Yeah. All right.
So
I think I'm gonna end the call now.
Yeah. Answer questions or not. I don't know which questions because I don't know. I think we've answered most of the questions.
Yeah, there's some back and forth between different individuals who are asking each other questions. But I think we've covered oh, one more is so you mentioned that you use Amazon and AliExpress as sources.
Yes.
Are these different account? Like one account uses AliExpress, one account uses Amazon, or just on the same account?
I don't care. I use AliExpress and Amazon the same account as long as I do shipping different, like.
Gotcha. So you use different shipping policies.
Shipping policy. So I call it e-packet policy, and I call it Amazon policy. So I know which products I'm gonna, which product I'm gonna, so it's segregated. So I know. Nice. That's why I don't check. I think the last question I'm gonna answer was cashback. The cashback is very helpful, guys. Use cashback because it helps you. $1 or $2 if you accumulate how many dollars you get in 1 month. It's a lot. Like last time I checked my account, my cashback account, I got like $700. So it's worth it. Like use cashbacks. Use cashbacks. And before we end up this call, you guys, thank you, Jack, for this very nice conversation and chat we had. And thanks to everybody who was watching and giving us questions and answers. And there, in my YouTube channel, you can guys text me. It's the same thing. Success with Assad, the same page as the same as in YouTube, same as in Instagram. So everywhere is Success with Assad. Whatever you click as Success with Assad, you will find me. So
and I'll put, for those of you guys who are watching the video later, just look in the description to find his YouTube channel.
Yeah. So any questions you have, guys, for later, you can ask us and we can reply. There are a lot of people are answering the questions right now. That's it. Thank you, guys.
All right, everybody. Ciao.
Thank you.